Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to have a 1v1 on Moscow Outskirts. Our heroes today are going to be CcArtS playing for the Soviets. And we have Malgari ROK. Not sure if that's a clan, but we'll just call him Malgari. And he is playing, obviously, for the Germans. So, Moscow Outskirts. Been a little while, I think. Like this map. We all know it. I'm not sure if anybody is against it, but, well, let me know in the comments below. But anyway, so we see build orders. We have that Malgari actually went for 2 Pioneers start. 2 Pioneers. The second one, I believe, built his tier 1. Yeah, built it over here. So the first one was able to hit the field and capture a little bit earlier on. Second Pioneer squad going over to the right-hand side, while the first one is going to the center. For CcArtS, we do see the conscripts being produced first, but he is now producing a second combat engineer. That is interesting. Never seen that order before. I mean, either you go for a second combat engineer off the bat, or you go conscripts first and then combat engineer, but, well, I guess he has a particular build order in mind, because these engineers are building tier 1 pretty much as soon as they hit the field. So we'll see what he gets out of there. Maybe a fast sniper or a fast scout car. So anyways, combat engineers decapping the strategic point over here on the left-hand side. They got capped by the Pioneers. Pioneers are going over to the fuel point on the left-hand side, while the Pioneers and a squad of Grenadiers are going over to the right-hand side. They might be running into these conscripts in a little bit. We also see an MG42 just being produced for Malgari, hitting the field just now. Where is it? Here it is. Going to be going over to the left-hand side. And we do see, in fact, that it is going to be a scout car coming up for CcArtS. Probably jump a combat engineer with flamethrowers in it. And we now see the first engagement, left-hand side, combat engineers and pioneers fighting in the open. And at the same time, we have the conscripts and the grenadiers fighting in the middle of the street, or dirt road, not really a street, I guess. Grenadiers taking some shots, running over to these bushes to get some light cover. And the conscripts are going to back off and find a different angle to shoot him at. I'm going to take some cover behind this fence, getting some yellow cover, while the Pioneers are moving in to support the Grenadiers. So the conscripts retreat a little bit further to defend this fuel point, getting heavy cover from the hail bale. And the, well, I'm not sure who's going to jump into the house. Actually, nobody. Huh. I would have assumed somebody jumps into the house to, you know, draw some fire. But we now see both Grenadiers and Pioneers getting behind light cover on these fences and are going to be taking shots at the conscripts. Over on the, what was it, the left-hand side, we see the M3 scout car chasing away the MG42. Doesn't have anybody garrisoning it just yet. We do have a combat engineer squad retreating, which could potentially start a flamethrower upgrade. Pioneer squad getting chased by that scout car. And the conscripts up north are still shooting at the Grenadiers and the Pioneers. These squads have not lost any. They are damaged in health a little bit. But the conscripts are in heavy cover, so they might be able to actually win this fight on their own. They are down to 5 man, though, and relatively low in health, so it isn't looking exactly good for them. In the meantime, we have the Pioneers, conscripts, not conscripts, combat engineers, damn it. For CcArtS, capturing territory, gonna probably cut off. Well, actually they did. Capturing this territory, they cut off the entire north for Malgari. And the conscripts are still holding their ground while the Pioneers decide to disengage and are gonna move on and cap. In the center, we still have the scout car with nobody in it, shooting at the MG42, taking a couple shots, backing off because there is a second Grenadier squad on the field that could potentially Panzerfaust it. Regardless of the changes that were made on the recent patch, the Panzerfaust is extremely effective against light vehicles. And we now see a second scout car on the field for CcArtS. This one isn't equipped with a flamethrower engineer. They are going for the fuel point, which is not currently being defended, so They're going to be able to cap it easily, while the second scout car is moving probably to... Yeah. We have a third combat engineer on the field to get a flamethrower, so nice. So we're going to have 2 flamethrower-equipped scout cars. Very interesting choices by CcArtS. He is foregoing the conscripts for combat engineers to get those flamethrowers out a lot faster. So the interesting. Did he retreat him? Yeah, he did. So the conscripts actually managed to win that fight, very low in health, but they managed to recap that fuel point for themselves. Pioneers getting caught in the open by that scout car with a flamethrower, getting chased on the retreat and obstructed by the car itself. Down to 1 man. He's actually going to make it out. He is getting a nice of a lead, and the grenadiers do run in the middle of them to stop that scout car. So it looks like that pioneer is actually going to make it out. Grenadiers keeping their distance. Well, scout car keeping the distance from the grenadiers, really. And we have the other... Ooh, we have a scout car for Malgari with an autocannon. I have yet to see how effective the new patch has made these scout cars. The change that was made was that the machine gun, that coaxial gun... Let me see. How do you follow it? No, it was like this. Like that. No. There you go. Sorry. Wasn't able to get the follow. You can see there it has the autocannon, but it also has a coaxial machine gun, which is essentially the same machine gun that it starts with. It's just, it looks different there. That one was not functional before. It did shoot. It had an animation and such, but it wasn't doing anything. It was at 0 damage. So it now retains the initial damage, I believe. If it is different damage, let me know, guys. But I believe it's the same damage as the machine gun that it starts with. It just gets the autocannon upgrade. So these scout cars should be ridiculously useful now, because before the patch, you upgraded the autocannon, took out those scout cars, and your scout car was essentially useless because the autocannon is crappy against infantry. And while I was talking, we missed a scout car getting blown up on the left-hand side. So that is a blow for CcArtS. He still has 1 scout car on the field, though, so still not a complete loss. But yeah, sorry about that, guys. Got a little bit distracted on this scout car. Small engagement on the northern or right-hand side. Combat engineers with flamethrower engaging grenadiers, backed up by a second squad of combat engineers. We have a mine also by CcArtS on this crossroad, maybe trying to bait the scout car. We do see the scout car coming up. We do hit retreat immediately on this flamethrower-equipped combat engineer. Down to 1 man. Is he actually going to make it out? I don't think he might. Although there is a conscript squad. No, the combat engineer goes down, and we do not have anti-tank nades. Unfortunate pickup there, or missed opportunity there for CcArtS. If he had the 18-8 research, that was a nice chance to get a kill, potentially, on a scout car. But, oh well. Still have the combat engineers over on the right-hand side. Might be still trying to bait this scout car, but he is not going for it. The MG42 does pin down that combat engineer, and they're just going to go ahead and retreat. So you could see right there how brutal the scout car is now. It is essentially just as good on chasing down infantry as a as a Soviet scout car. Soviet scout car on the right-hand side, going to take a Panzerfaust. Very nice reaction by CcArtS, jumping his combat engineers out of that scout car. He's going to try to repair it, but we can see the scout car for Malgari on the hunt. He is going to go and intercept this scout car, and that is going to be all he wrote. Gets the flank, and one barrage should do it, and there it goes. This combat engineer is now in a very tough position. It is in heavy cover, so it's going to be able to take some shots. We still don't have the anti-tank nades research for CcArtS, but, well, Malgari doesn't know it. He sees a conscript squad moving up against his scout car, and he's just going to retreat it because he doesn't want to take that chance. Right-hand side is now being captured by Malgari. Very good play by him. And we do see CcArtS selecting his doctrine. It's the one with Guards rifle, but the one that gives you the ISU. So no mortars or hit the dirt for his conscripts. That was kind of obvious considering that he didn't choose to go conscript heavy, but he does have a second conscript squad on the field now. which, you know, wouldn't have hurt him, but this ISU is a nice option to have later on in the game. So conscript squad's getting chased by these by this scout car now. Takes another guy down on the retreat, down to 3 men, but should be able to make it out of there alive. The second conscript squad over here on the right-hand side, again decapping this strategic point, denying the entire right-hand side of the field resources, at least, for Malgari. Grenadier squad getting engaged by these guards rifles. Guards rifles are going to be very good at countering that scout car if they get, you know, a chance to shoot at it. And we do have 2 guards rifle on the field for CCR. So we have one on the right-hand side, one kind of on the left in the center, so increases the chances of catching that scout car out in the open. This conscript squad is in a lot of trouble now, getting caught out in the open by the scout car and an MG42 setting up to try to pin it down. They do jump into the house though, so that's going to give them a lot of defense while they find a way to get themselves out of there. They are down to 3 men though, so if they simply just jump out and retreat, they are dead. So we'll see what he decides to do. He decides to jump over to the other side of the house and start decapping that point, forcing him to move, Malgari. So very nice move by CcArtS, forcing him to react to him. And he can simply just jump back into the house, although Malgari is probably going to jump into the house himself, denying the house again for him. But if he hits retreat right now, he might be able to make it out of there. No, this squad is toast. No, down to 1 man. Hits retreat, but that scout car is going to chase it down. Yep, there it goes. Unfortunate loss for CcArtS, but, well, that is the way of things now with the new scout cars. And we see the T-70 hitting the field. Very nice rush for the T-70 for CcArtS. Well, not exactly a rush. It is 12 minutes, but that scout car is now pretty much screwed. It does have Ben 2, which reduces the damage taken, so the T-70 isn't going to instantly kill it, but it has nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Does a little bit of damage to the T-70. Actually, very nice move by Malgari there. Manages to go back to his base, pop smoke, and then now has a oh, missed opportunity there. Okay, well, I was going to say that was a very nice move because the Grenadiers were going to be able to Panzerfaust the T-70, but the smoke was also working in favor of CcArtS, masking his tank. So very interesting move, very nice attempt by Malgari. I liked it, but yeah. And you can see that the autocannon did do some damage to the T-70, so you got to be careful. You know, you can't get overly confident, but you know, it's still going to win that fight on a one-on-one. So anyways, we do have a half-track on the field now for Malgari. It is getting heavily damaged by those PTRSs on the Guards Rifle, and if the T-70 chases it, it might actually kill it. He does know where it is, considering that he has these combat engineers here, but there are 3 squads of Grenadiers right on top of it, so that is going to provide some excellent defense for that half-track. And excellent defense, well, not defense, but support to these Grenadiers, because they can simply just reinforce on the fly on the field. So yeah, very prudent or very nice choice by CcArtS on not going for the half-track, even though he knew where it was, because, well, very easily, it would have been very easy to lose that that T-70 in that situation, with a lot of Panzerfaust getting thrown on top of it. So T-70 is just moving around, basically hunting, seeing what kind of damage it can do. Guards rifles over here, denying this entire right-hand side still. This victory point is still in the possession of Malgari, but he is not gaining any benefit from the strategic point over here. So, for the most part, actually, we do see that CcArtS currently has control of the entire map. On the left-hand side, we see these guards rifles capturing everything. He isn't focusing on the victory point, which he is now down to almost 300 points himself, CcArtS, but he is gaining the advantage as far as, you know, income goes. I mean, look at that. He has 57 versus 11 in munitions and 42 versus 7 in fuel. I mean, that's ridiculous amounts. And he is up to 600 in manpower, so we'll see what he decides to go with. Now, for Malgari, he is currently getting himself a Stug. That's a nice option. It's Stug is going to be very useful against a what do you call it? The T-70. What do you call it? So yeah, Stug hitting the field now for Malgari. Small engagement on the right-hand side. Grenadiers and CcArtS rifle. T-70 moving into position to try to help out, but there is a pack gun. Not sure if he's aware of it. Grenadiers try to move in for a Faust, it looked like, but they didn't actually manage to get in range in time. Pack makes itself known, takes a shot at that T-70, then it connects, brings it down to about half health, but that is about it. CcArtS rifle do get themselves behind the MG42, but ooh, that Stug takes a nice shot at those CcArtS rifle. The CcArtS rifle are gonna die, and leaves two nice presents for the Germans, PTRS and a DP light machine gun. So quite a nasty loss there for CcArtS, and quite a nice pickup there for Malgari. Other CcArtS rifles going over on these right-hand side. If they cap this point, they disconnect the entire map for Malgari, at least temporarily. He is currently capping this point on the right-hand side, munitions point. But until he does that, this entire territory that got recovered by Malgari isn't going to be doing anything. We do see a second pack gun on the field getting shot at by these CcArtS rifles. And the conscripts managed to get a cap on that victory point, but still this center victory point is in control of Malgari. So the ticking is still in the favor of Malgari. So CcArtS is now down to 230 points. So he has got to do something about that map control for the victory points relatively soon, because if he doesn't, he is going to be putting himself in a lot of unnecessary pressure. CcArtS rifle getting pinned out in the open and chased by... Ooh, very nice shot by that Stug. Takes out two guys, it looked like. Down to 3 men on that CcArtS rifle. Should be able to make it out, though. Conscripts now going to the center. Left-hand side now getting capped by Grenadiers and Pioneers. So we now see a lot of infantry on the field for Malgari. That is 4 Grenadier squads, 2 Pioneers, 1 MG, and 2 pack guns. Plus his half-track, which will allow him to reinforce on the field, and a Stug, so very nice. Although the half-track isn't on the field just yet, it's back at base for some reason. Right-hand side on the fuel point getting contested by these Grenadiers, but the T-70 is making sure that they get out of there. And the flamethrowers are going to add on top of that. Down to 1 man, he needs to get him out of there, otherwise he's going to lose it, and he does lose 1 Grenadier squad. Stug does move into the area to try to take on that T-70, but the T-70 should be able to get out of there before that Stug catches it. It should be fast enough. Does take a shot at the T-70 on the move. Nice shot on the rear. Brings it down to about 20% health. Is he actually going to make it out of there, though? Ooh, misses that last shot. And actually manages to hide himself behind the buildings. And gets a buttoning on that Stug. The buttoning is really only to, although that was a marked vehicle too, so he was trying to get some damage on it, but yeah, that buttoning to me just seemed more of a defensive buttoning to stop that Stug from just chasing the T-70. He wants to keep that T-70 on the field because that allows him to be very harass heavy on the flanks. Center of the map did get captured by CcArtS, taking a little bit of points against Malgari, but Malgari quickly moves all his forces into the center, getting an MG set up, getting his half-track in the center for reinforcements, and he still has Stug there for support, so he has a very nice entrenched position in the center. Especially with 2 pack guns, that T-70 isn't going to be able to get in there and do anything at all. Very interesting positioning of them. One covering or focusing in the center, and the other one straight to the right-hand side. Well, he is redeploying, so maybe he didn't mean that, but okay. Well, anyway, so now we see Malgari going in force basically in the entire map, getting back his map cap. He does have a lot of infantry on the field, so it allows him to cap heavily. We now see 3 CcArtS rifle on the field for CcArtS, using a lot of his manpower. We do see a lot of manpower floating per se, but he might be saving up for the ISU. I mean, he can still spend a little bit of it right now, considering he doesn't have the command points, but he does have 290 fuel, so we'll see what he chooses. T-70 on the right-hand side getting fasted in the face, but it does force a retreat on this Grenadier squad. This Grenadier squad over here is also probably gonna have to retreat. The T-70 could still be used a little bit offensively, but he's not gonna risk getting caught in the open by the Stug, so he's gonna back it off a little bit. Gonna get repaired by these engineers on the field. Conscripts down to 4 men. Do get into heavy cover, but they are going to be losing that fight against those grenadiers that are still at 4 men. Half-track getting shot at by the PTRS rifles on this guards rifle, getting very low in health. Very interesting choice to leave it there. Decides to back it off now. Does take a shot from the T-70 and manages to get out of there. Stug now moving into position to try to pick off that T-70, it looks like. Although it does go for the guards rifle first, takes a shot and kills 2 of them. Gonna back off a little bit. Needs to get him into heavier cover at least, but well, trying to hold the line a little bit, I guess, and try to get enough time for that T-70 to get repaired, which it did, and get it out of there. PTRS rifle, those are getting some damage onto that Stug, brings it down to about, I don't know, 80% health, 90, 80 probably. So yeah, something you need to keep in mind of. So it's basically a forced retreat now for CcArtS. Everything is sort of back now into his space. Most of the territory is now in control for Malgari, so it's looking kind of grim for CcArtS. He does have over 1,000 manpower that he's floating, so I'm not entirely sure I agree with that. But, well, the only reasoning I can think of is he is waiting to get those 5 command points, but, I mean, you could do something else with it in the meantime. Just, you know, keep enough. MG42 does get decrewed by that T-70. T-70 gains veterancy 2, increasing the damage and reducing the damage taken. So it's going to be a little bit harder to take out that T-70. And it is essentially retreating, although it is just on the right-hand side. The combat engineers are going to be aware that the Stug is chasing that T-70. So CcArtS can react and move that T-70 out of the way. And he does. There he goes. He decides to send it back to his base. Combat engineers just going for the center, trying to get a decap on the points because CcArtS is now down to 188 points, so it's not looking very good for him. Another guards rifle squad getting called in. He now has 4. I mean, I guess those are good for those PTRSs and the increased armor, but, well, not sure. Panzer IV now on the field for Malgari. That is going to be a very difficult force to stop. And, yeah, I think he's going to call in as an ISU. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. And especially because he went for that doctor. T-70 over here on the left-hand side supporting. We do have 2 squads of guards rifle on the left-hand side, managing on retreat on a grenadier squad down to 1 man. Guards rifle getting burned alive by these by these pioneers with the flamethrower. They throw in a nade, do some damage, but only take down 1 guy. And yeah, there we go. We now see finally the ISU being called in. Still a lot of manpower and fuel. Could potentially call in a second T-70, you know, for more harassment. But, well, that ISU should help him out if he can bait these tanks out in the open. These guards rifle do get retreated immediately because, well, they cannot stand up against 2 tanks even with their PTRS rifles. So the ISU, super range on this thing. We'll see how good it is. We do have the Panzer IV and the Stug kind of going for it. I mean, obviously he doesn't know that it's there yet, but they are in front of it. If he had a spotting unit, that would have been... Ooh, there he goes. Nice shot goes in. Direct hit onto the rear armor of that Panzer IV. Brings it almost to about 50% health. Not even sure if he noticed. He's still going for the guards rifle. I'm not sure that was the best choice for Malgari. I mean, he could have stopped and tried to flank that that ISU, but, well, there are 2 other guards rifle there that would have potentially buttoned them. So let's see how effective this ISU is. He is far back here. He's taking shots at something over here. Very incredible range. Let's see if this doesn't crash our computer. ISU being moved around. Panzer IV still engaging the conscripts over on this left-hand side, so most of the forces for the German player on this side, and the ISU is just moving around here. It is moving up slowly. It is a very slow tank. Pack gun being moved on the right-hand side. And there it goes. Shot goes in. Doesn't actually do anything, but it makes itself known. There is a T-70 light tank over here that is spotting. Ooh, nice. It isn't actually fighting. It's just moved into position to get a spot. So we now see the Stug and the Panzer IV. They are right out of range. They are masking themselves from this. One buttoning goes in on this Stug. Panzer IV might be able to get into position. Very interesting. And the smoke is denying that. Because of the range of this thing, this is really the only angle I can see. A nice shot goes in and hits on top of the Stug. Is he actually gonna kill him? Looks like he's gonna change target and direct hit onto that Panzer IV. We'll select all the units there so we can see the health on them. As long as somebody's spotting, nice hit goes into that Flak Panzer. And he decides to turn around and engage the Panzer IV. That is the most heavier target. Nice shot goes in, destroys the engine. Still has the gun though, but nice reaction by Malgari. He pops Panzer Tactician, gets smoke cover. But ISU moves up a little bit, takes a shot, and out of control goes that Panzer IV. Pack 40 gun does take a shot at that armor, brings it down a little bit, and the Flak Panzer is still pelting away at that ISU. So the ISU is about 50% health. The ISU decides to shoot that Panzer IV one more time because it was still out of control and not dead. Very nice choice there. Ooh, nice shot goes in, but it doesn't manage to actually take out that pack gun. It's gonna back off that, oops, sorry. Gonna back off the ISU. And manages to retreat it to safety a little bit. So let's go ahead and reset the camera. I'm not sure if you like that, guys, but I think that was the only way for me to see what was going on because it's so far away that you can't really tell what it was shooting at if you're just looking at the unit. So a little bit of a loss, I guess you could say, for CcArtS. He did get pushed back onto his base, but he did pick up a nice kill on that Panzer IV. Heavily damaged most things. I mean, look at this pack gun; it's almost dead. And this one is not in greatest shape. The Stug did get repaired, and the Flak Panzer is down to a sliver of health, but is now getting repaired by the Pioneers. So should be able to get it back to full health before the next engagement. And we now see an engagement here. Grenadiers engaging Guards Rifle. Guards Rifles being at 2 squads should be able to win that fight, especially with another Guards Rifle in that house. And there they go. Ooh, they actually get killed on the retreat. Very nice pickup there for CcArtS. ISU looks like it was shooting at something. There is a one-man Grenadier squad here. We do see the T-70 on this right-hand side still being used for harassment. Very nice preservation of this T-70. It's up to 20 kills now, so very nice. Guards Rifle just going for decapping on the right-hand side. A very nice choice by CcArtS on going to the right-hand side primarily because that kind of forces all these units to move to the right-hand side, and that allows his ISU to, you know, have a better position on them. Otherwise, here the ISU needs to move into position to shoot this, and you know, exposes itself. But if it gets exposed, you know, might get some better shots at it, especially because of its extreme range. So let's see here. ISU still in position. It is tracking something. Is it gonna take a shot? No, it decides to reset. It does see the half track. Takes a shot but misses. Guards Rifle down to 4 men, getting heavily harassed there. Ooh, nice shot goes in, takes out that Stug. And this half-track is very exposed. Gets buttoned, but it is not in the line of sight of the ISU. Very lucky. Half track there. ISU taking some shots at the pack gun and the infantry over here. Nice shot. Ooh, very unlucky there. One Tire Guard squad gets killed, another PTRS and a DP light machine gun gets dropped on the floor, able to be picked up by... Ooh, nice shot there. Explodes that Pioneer into a wall of flame. And that T-70 is now Vet 3. And, because there's nothing on the field now, that T-70 can simply just kill these guns, although it looks like the ISU is going to take care of that job instead. But yeah, I mean, he can kill this MG42, he can kill this PaK-40. There you go, nice shot goes in there. So the right-hand side is now being heavily pushed by Malgari. I can't help but feel that Malgari lost his opportunity, but well, he still has Panzer IV and a Flak Panzer. He needs to take care of this ISU, though. This ISU is being very effective for CcArtS. Gotta say, I like his choice there. Basically turned the map around for him, down to 96 points, so, I mean, it was then or not at all. DP light machine gun still on the floor, can't get picked up by the engineers, but one of the guards rifle might be able to make use of it. Guards rifle do decide to pick up the MG42, that's why he didn't kill it. They are getting shot at by that Flak Panzer, but the ISU is tracking this Flak Panzer. Gets out of range and decides to start taking shots at this Pioneer squad. T-70 looked like it wanted to actually chase the Flak Panzer. Is he actually doing that? Can a T-70 take on a Flak Panzer? That's interesting. I mean, it is very low in health, so it might be worth it. Let's see how effective it is at it. And moving around, and surprise! Ooh, nice shot goes in. Very nice damage. That one didn't penetrate. That one penetrated, but didn't do a lot of damage. And there it goes, out of control. So very nice. So the T-70 can actually be a counter to a Flak Panzer. I mean, at Vet 1 against Vet 3, I mean, I guess that's what did the difference. At Vet 3, they get reduced damage taken and increased weapon damage. So that's why it was only very little damage. But, you know, Vet 0, 1v1, the Flak Panzer should win that. And there we see the ISU taking some potshots at these Grenadiers out in the open. The Guards rifle with their PTRSs stunning the Grenadiers out in the open, making them hit the dirt. And another shot goes in, heavy health damage. Now down to one man. I think this Grenadier squad is toast. He does retreat. Is he actually going to make it out? He is chasing it with the T-70. And nope, he manages to make it out. This other squad down to 3. So full retreat on the right-hand side for the entire German army. T-70 is going to have a field day just chasing these guys and picking up kills on the retreat. Because there isn't pretty much anything on the field that Malgari now has to counter that. I mean, there is obviously a Panzer IV, which is right here getting repaired, so it's not going to chase it. It has engine damage and very low health. And obviously there's Panzer Fausts that can be used, but they were all in retreat, so the T-70 had nothing to fear. I mean, especially because he knows that he killed those pack guns, so he knows that nobody can actually recruit them just yet. And on the left-hand side, we have a PTRS-equipped conscript squad. And did they pick up something else? No, just a PTRS. I mean, they do have a DP light machine gun in there that they can also pick up. Make them a little bit more useful. And they are Vet 2, so at Vet 2 it's a very, well, slightly durable squad. So we now see Malgari choosing to go to the left-hand side. Not a bad idea, considering where he knows where the ISU is, and even if he goes in force with his Panzer IV, well, that's not going to do anything for it. But, well, there's a lot of things on the field now for CcArtS, so it is going to be very difficult for Malgari to push out. He needs to get some way to disable that ISU. And sorry about that little icon there. I messed up the placement of the camera when I was getting the overlay done, but, well, small price to pay to be able to see the information, right? I mean, for the most part, it's fine. It shouldn't really affect that much. So anyway, so yeah, Panzer IV retreating a little bit further back into base because the ISU is very close to his base. And he is now basically getting completely decapped. He now has a triple cap against him, so CcArtS is ticking those points fast. He himself got down to 90 points, but, well, it's 380 points now for Malgari. Those should be ticking away rather fast at triple speed, so very nice. Pioneers just trying to cap whatever they can without getting shot in the face by the ISU. ISU slowly turning around, trying to shoot something in the face, but not getting anything done. And we also see very heavy mine usage by CcArtS. There's a lot of mines all over the place, so very nice, very nice. Still, though, we do have 1,100 manpower floating, so not sure that is the best thing, but, I mean, he is at 90 pop cap, that is. So, like, he can't really do that much. I mean, what, he can get another guard rifle squad, and that's it? You know, what else are you going to spend it on? So, can't say I blame him. Panzer IV getting marked target and shot at by those PTRS rifles. Very low in health again, so not able to do much with the amount of guard rifles currently on the field. Left-hand side, you know, a little bit of a decap going on, but this MG42 is now setting up. Nice rifle nade goes in, brings it down to 2-man. Very low in health, but I think this squad is pinned, so it's screwed. This squad over here still fighting against 2 Grenadier squads, but at Vet 2 you get the reduce or increase in durability, and, well, guard rifles have heavier armor, so yeah. ISU taking some shots at these Pioneers out in the open. Let's see how good it is. Ooh, very nice shot. Brings it down to 1-man. Gets a little bit stunned, but he is going to be able to retreat and get back to base. So yeah, I mean, there's really not much that Malgari can do at this point. I think this is it. I mean, it's just a slow, agonizing death. He did call in a second Panzer IV, which in theory he could use to, you know, flank this ISU and, you know, kill it. But because of the amount of guards rifles that are currently on the field, I mean, yeah, there's not much he can do. And look at that. I mean, this Vet 3 T-70 getting caught in the open by this Panzer IV gets shot twice and is only down to half health. So unless he gets a crit on the engine right now in this shot, I mean, this T-70 should be able to make it out. Next shot actually misses. And second shot misses. Very unfortunate for Malgari. Can't catch a break. And the third shot misses. So yeah, I mean, that T-70 is... I'll dare to say that T-70 is going to stay alive the entire game. However long it takes for this game to end. However much time is left, that is. I don't think the T-70 is ever going to die. And CcArtS now has 1,500 manpower. I mean, but he can't spend it because of all this. Yeah, I mean, that was also another change that got made. I believe it is 25. Yeah, they increased the population cap on all the vehicles very heavily. Yeah, very heavily. I mean, there are some, like the lighter vehicles, they only got increased by 1 or 2, but for example, this one got increased all the way up to 25 population cap. Otherwise, I mean, if he had made this build in the previous patch, he probably could already have 2 ISUs on the field without any real issues. But yeah, that is something that you have to take into consideration. I mean, at this point, what? You can just simply build caches on all the all the points just so that it takes that much longer for Malgari to try to recap his own points. Because yeah, I mean, like I said, he can waste into one of these and that's it. What else is he gonna do? Not much. So at this point of the game, I mean, I guess it's fine to float that much, but yeah. I would, though, say that it would have been a nicer idea for CcArtS to be a little bit more aggressive with the ISU at this point, because he has so much, both so much income. Oh, look at that! Nice bait into that mine. Hits the mine, gets the engine damage, and that's actually heavy engine damage. So that tank isn't going anywhere. That T-70 stays alive, and the ISU moves into position to shoot it. Well, it actually doesn't even move; it just turns around. And a shot goes in. It actually missed. And it gets a... Wow, it actually got abandoned. Is CcArtS actually going to be able to even pick up a Panzer IV for his own army? He is going for it. And... yeah, he picks it up. Well, actually, he runs his Guards rifle to get cover. That's nice. I didn't actually know that these provided cover. But, yeah, he jumps into it once he gets a retreat, and there he goes. Anyways, well, okay, let's talk about this. We have another Panzer IV on the left-hand side, harassing these engineers, and Vet 3 Guards rifle getting shot in the face by that ISU. ISU turning around to try to get another shot, and doesn't actually get a shot. Turning around, turn around, and out of control. So one more shot and it goes out of control. It's going to crash onto the flag, and there it goes. We do see a call-in. What is that? Railway artillery getting called in on top of the ISU, but, well, CcArtS saw it coming a mile away and just dodged out of that. But yeah, I mean, what I was saying is that, you know, at this point, CcArtS could, you know, probably afford to be a little bit more aggressive and have his ISU like right here and start bombarding the enemy base. Simply because even if he loses it, he can instantly call in another one. And while, yes, this one has veterancy, at veterancy he gets tracking ability. I mean, significantly increases sight radius. Infantry can be tracked through the fog of war appearing on the minimap. Not really that useful at this point, considering he has the entire map in his control. But oh well. Hindsight again is 2020, and he doesn't necessarily have to do that, so whatever. Left-hand side, we'd see Pioneers just sneaking around, trying to decap this victory point, slowing that ticking. He is down to 120 points, Malgari is. Center getting bombarded by that ISU. We do see Grenadiers trying to go for the stolen Panzer IV. Probably going to Panzerfaust it, or yeah, there goes one. Panzerfaust goes in, does a little bit of damage. Second one might be going in as well, but between the ISU bombarding them and the Panzer IV also shooting back at them, I don't think he's going to be able to make it out. We do have a mortar on the field, which is an interesting choice. Mortar isn't going to do anything against an ISU, which is the main issue that he has. Sure, there's a lot of infantry, but the infantry can just simply move around. Panzer IV trying to shoot this MG42. Doesn't manage to get a kill, and the T-70 is now fully repaired. We now have a more aggressive front here. We have Guards rifles on both sides. So yeah, I mean, just move the ISU a little bit forward over here and start lobbing shots into the enemy base, and you're golden. He does decide to jump the Guards rifle out of that house, not risking a collapse and not wanting to get bombarded by the mortar. Two squads of Guards rifles harassing these Pioneers. Pioneers gonna retreat and probably make it out of there. And we now see another attempted push. These Guards rifles are getting shot at by the base machine guns, but they are in heavy cover, which should allow them to not get suppressed. Heavy cover does get blown up, so they move a little bit, but they're still in range of that machine gun, so they need to get out of there a little bit. The man that was in the range does get shot, and they are now not getting shot. And yeah, we now have the ISU bombarding the base, so very nice. Finally, I mean, about time, I would say. And at this point, I mean, I know sacrificing isn't really that good of an idea, but CcArtS could have sacrificed some squads and gotten a second ISU, but, well, considering he picked up that Panzer IV, oh, this Panzer IV, I mean, Malgari should have probably already thrown in the towel, so I guess it's just dragging on needlessly, but yeah, I mean, there's really nothing you can do. So let's just see that ISU take some shots at an enemy base. So, anyways, guys, what I will say is, look at that, now the Panzer IV is back in its own base, but in the wrong hands. What I was gonna say, guys, is that you should probably send me some replays if anybody wants, you know, to see their games cast. It doesn't have to be really high level play. It's just that I don't have any replays with the newer patch and everything. All the old replays are not playable, so I can't really do much. I selected this one, for CcArtS because I know, or at least remember, that all the other casts that I've done that he has been playing, he has lost. And, well, this is a nice win for him. The ISU was very effective, and he manhandled Malgari, but not the best level of play, I guess you could say. I mean, look at all that floating, because at some point, Malgari was also floating manpower himself, so it's not only by CcArtS, but I mean, CcArtS has an excuse. He can't really build anything, so he has a lot of banked stuff. But anyways, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed the cast. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section. Again, if you want to send me any of your replays, I will put the email to send them to in the description below. Otherwise, I hope you guys have yourself a great day. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.